Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at a Thanksgiving week and weekend forecast. First, want to apologize. I didn't get any videos out earlier in the week. This is when I would normally do my patron forecast. Earlier this week, my wife hurt her foot a little bit. My daughter's been home from the school sick for a couple days. Monday, I was going to have some time to do a forecast, but I went to fight a structure fire. Yeah, it's just been sort of hectic, and I apologize. I'm sure you found your weather in a different source. Sorry about not getting that local forecast, that local focus out to you. Sometimes when life gets really hectic, the forecasting, which is halfway between a hobby and a part-time job, falls to the bottom of the list. And that's what happened this time, even though it was snowing. Usually snow pushes it up to the higher part of the list. But anyway, that's why I didn't get a forecast. I apologize for that. I'm fine. And daughter's feeling better, wife's feeling better, so things should be headed back to normal as we head through Thanksgiving. And I hope you're about to have a really nice Thanksgiving. So let's take a look at what's going on out there as we head through the rest of Thanksgiving weekend. Weather is improving, particularly from a travel standpoint. Ended up with more snow than I think I thought we were going to get out of the storm. I was thinking 3 or 4 inches in my area. We got close to 6, although it's already settled back down towards that 3 or 4 inches, and it'll kind of continue to melt. Roads aren't bad, though. Nicely, the snow fell mostly overnight. They got out pretty early and started working the roads. Still some slushy spots out there, but that should rapidly improve over the next hour or two. By the time you see this forecast, roads are probably all right. You can see our storm is heading out to the north and the east. There's another ripple here. That's going to head east of us, not really going to affect us. Our next weather maker is really this kind of front here, which is going to settle south, which is sort of, it's somewhat attached to a couple of areas of low pressure. But as this storm wraps up, it's going to drag this Arctic front south towards us a little bit, and that's going to cool our temperatures down, but not till Saturday. So we'll be seasonably cool for the next couple of days, with temperatures kind of holding right in the mid-30s, really day and night time, as we're going to be kind of have a decent amount of moisture around. And then we're going to drag some colder air in, and then eventually some subtropical jet stream energy. And this is pretty typical, pretty strong subtropical jet. We're going to see this a lot this year with El Nino. It's going to leave a piece of energy off the coast and another piece trying to catch up to it that's going to try to give us a little bit of a storm Sunday night, which could give us a little bit of light snow. Right now, we may get almost nothing out of it, or we could get some light snow that could accumulate a little bit. Track is a little bit hard to determine at this point. I will get some details to you. Let's take a look at radar as we speak. This is radar as of about 8:45 this morning. As you can see, things are wrapping up pretty rapidly here across southern Vermont. If you're headed anywhere else in New England, the snow and the frozen precipitation is confined mostly to northern Maine and very northern New Hampshire at this point. Things are rapidly improving. Like I said, where we've changed over or gotten to about freezing and getting the plows out there, it pretty much took care of the mess. And again, we will see a few showers for the rest of the morning. By noon, we should be basically clearing out. What could see a sprinkler or two or a little bit of light drizzle this afternoon, but things should be improving. We will be cloudy for the rest of the day. If we take a look further across the country, you can see behind that there's not much going on. So the next couple of days will be kind of cloudy as this system really wraps up to our north and our east, and it will kind of spin some clouds in our direction. And then you can see Canada, a lot of chilly weather across Canada, seasonably chilly, but chilly for this time of year, a lot of 20s and teens, low teens even. And what's going to happen on Friday during the day, a front is going to move through, and it's going to drag some of this air down. So Saturday, we will probably, most of us will not see 30 degrees on Saturday. It's going to feel a little wintry. It'll be a little breezy too, not real breezy, but a little breezy on Saturday. Let's take a quick look at just that front. Here's the front Friday morning. As you're getting up, you can see the front is starting to sag south. Here's the storm that's going past us today that's going to have really wrapped itself up and actually probably even further north and east than this, but I wanted to be able to kind of show you roughly where the low pressure system is going to be. And this front will continue to sag south through the day. That will really push us towards, like I said, colder temperatures on the day during the day on Friday, and then certainly Friday night into Saturday, and Saturday will be chilly before we start to moderate a little bit Sunday before our next system heads in our direction. And this is the next one that we really should pay attention to. We've got southern jet stream energy here, subtropical jet stream energy with a storm starting to form off the coast, and then a storm behind it. And exactly how quickly this energy tries to catch up to this energy, there's also a little piece of upper level energy that'll be around here around the Great Lakes at this point. How those all interact will determine exactly the storm track. One of the tracks wants to, probably no matter what happens, the upper level low will drop a little bit of light snow, but the American model basically wants to take an eastern track and give us maybe a dusting to an inch basically as the upper level low moves through. The Canadian model, the European model, bring these two pieces together a little quicker, develop the storm a little stronger, and allow the upper level energy to interact a little bit more and give us a light snow, basically just as the storm is getting going. Maine would potentially get a decent snowstorm out of this one, out of the more westerly track. We'll have to keep a bit of an eye on this, and assuming my life doesn't kind of get really hectic and crazy like it has been the last few days, post Thanksgiving, I'll get you an update on this forecast with an idea, because if these, even though it's not modeled right now, certainly within the realm of possibility that these hug the coast a little bit more, the storm gets going a little earlier, and we can get into some more moderate snow maybe on Sunday overnight. That would be after dark on Sunday, basically. Right now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're probably light snow, if anything, out of the Sunday night and the Monday storm. But definitely bears watching. So I'll have an update for you on that as we go past Thanksgiving, probably on Friday or probably Saturday morning, realistically. Looking at my schedule for the rest of the week. Okay, so what does that look like in terms of our forecast for the next 5 days? Light rain this morning, should be wrapping up pretty soon. Temperatures in the upper 30s after starting off around freezing for most of us this morning. Temperatures dropped to about freezing tonight. It could be in some spots. Just keep an eye out if you're headed out to family early driving tomorrow. There could be a little black ice in some spots. We shouldn't get real chilly, so probably it should be okay, but just keep an eye on that because roads will be wet. Clouds, but a little bit of sun tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Decent day, temperature around 40 degrees. It'll feel like a Vermont Thanksgiving with a little bit of crusty snow around. Friday, we start around freezing again. We have to be a little careful for black ice on the road on Friday morning. Shouldn't be too bad. And then Friday, we don't really move temperatures-wise. Matter of fact, by the afternoon, we're probably falling back into the 20s as that front moves through, like I talked about. Saturday feels like winter. Nice, a nice day. Probably some of the most sun we're going to see. It gets cloudy as we head later on in the day, but some of the more sun we're going to see. Temperatures in the upper 20s, and with wind chills, it'll feel like low 20s, upper teens. If you're trying to ski, and all the skiers basically have been able to make enough snow. Most everybody's open with at least some minimal trail counts and a little bit of natural snow. You're looking at opportunities to ski. You want to bundle up more like it's late December than it's late November on Saturday, but definitely not too cold to ski or anything like that. And then Sunday, after we start off in the low 20s, temperatures come up to the mid 30s, and we'll have to see, is this light snow? Does that light snow mean just like some nuisance flurries with maybe a coating, or do we get a few inches of snow out of this storm? That is still to be determined, and I will update you on that, assuming life goes according to plan over the next several days. Highlights. Travel quickly improves this morning with light rain left over. Temperatures stay cool but above freezing for Thanksgiving and Friday for the most part. Be a little careful in the morning for some of that black ice with the snow on the side of the roads. Now, a cold front moves through Friday, bringing drier and cooler and colder air. Saturday will feel like winter, and our next storm approaches Sunday evening with some light snow. Like I said, I should be back on Saturday, probably this week, Saturday morning, with an updated look at your weekend or your forecast, particularly focusing on the Sunday night storm. This is normally my patron forecast, and it is my patron's weekend forecast. That's one of the things I do on Wednesday for my patrons, but I want to release it to everybody, especially given that I've been out and not around much lately. So thanks for I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They really help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy, and they're great, and they help make this happen, and so I really do appreciate them. And if you are interested in making sure that you don't miss any of my videos, just subscribe to my channel on YouTube. That's the best way to make sure you don't miss. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, this is the link there will be a link in the description below that shows you how to do that and what you get if you become a patron. All right, thanks for joining me. I will be back Saturday morning.